So what makes you truly confident? Well, confidence ultimately comes down to feeling comfortable in that certain environment or specific thing or with those specific people. So a ton of times someone does actually have a certain amount of confidence inside of them, but it just doesn't come out when they're around other people. And the reason for that is simply because we have a little subconscious thing in our brain that essentially is a stifling machine, and it scans, your environment and who you're around for people that are higher status than you. And if you subconsciously feel like other people have more status than you, then and you're around them, you're going to be stifled. You're going to be inhibited in terms of your capacity. So you're not going to be as confident, you're not going to be as witty, you're not going to be as charismatic. And the reason for that is because we evolved out of tribes. And in these tribes, millions of years ago, you essentially only had like a 50 or 100 people in a tribe. And if you were going to act like you were more or higher status than someone who actually was higher status, then that was extremely dangerous, because you could get killed, or even worse, you could get ostracized from that tribe, and then you'd be on your own. And so that subconscious program still runs in our minds these days. So if you're wondering, why do I feel, confident and secure, and I can be completely witty on Friday around my buddies on their birthday, but then on Saturday I go to this high status networking event or whatever, or there's, pretty girls around, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden I lose all of that. All of a sudden I'm self-conscious, I'm monitoring myself, my voice isn't expansive, whatever it may be. That just happens because your brain is trying to protect you. And the way to get around that is also only one way. It's simply to show your brain that that's not necessary, to give it opposing proof, right? So to continuously step into uncomfortable situations like that and just push yourself to actually behave expansive, to push yourself to, actually, behave confident, speak a little louder, those kinds of things. And then your brain just gets simple exposure proof that, like, hey, I was around these people and I spoke up and I'm still alive. I'm still safe. I'm still good. And so that happens time and time again. And from there, that's the simplest formula to actually become confident. It's very simple, to use that discomfort as your compass for exactly what to do instead of what to move away from. And then as you do that continuously, you're going to get a combination of expanding that comfort zone, making it bigger, and getting that pride and self-esteem, because you're challenging yourself. You're doing what you want to do instead of being held back in life. And then thirdly, they're going to obviously get the results that come with that confidence, because when you behave in a confident way, the earlier concept is twofold, right? If you essentially are around high status people, you are inhibited. But if you behave, right, and so you act low status, but if you behave very high status, people consider you to be very high status, because once again, that goes twofold, that goes two ways. So if you communicate like you're very high status, people think you're very high status, people treat you very high status, and guess what? You actually are very high status, very confident, and you start getting the results of those high status people. Very confident people always have the edge, whether that's in sales, whether that's in dating, whatever it may be, right? Because confidence is self-value, and confidence is essentially how people judge your value primarily. And so if you're able to hack that and to essentially use your confidence to get the things, instead of trying to get all these things to then give yourself permission to be confident, that's a bullshit thing, because it's going to be like a glass house and it's going to crumble. So try to hack that and get that confidence up, right? Just by stepping into it from an emotional place, using your imagination together with that, in order to imagine, how would I feel if all these people were already liking me, approving me, if all these people hosted this party for me, whatever it may be, right? How would I feel then? And then step into that feeling and behave from there. Also, let go from the outcome, and essentially through the practice I told you earlier, stepping into discomfort, you're gonna experience this social pressure over and over again. And therefore, it's not gonna matter anymore to you. You're gonna release the attachment of needing to look good, of needing to actually even be confident. And that detachment creates the actual confidence, right? If you don't need it, It's essentially the difference between walking on a plank that's sat between two chairs, which is very comfortable. You can do tricks, you can be creative, you can be, having all your ideas, and you can do different things, multitask, versus having that plank be between two big ass apartment buildings. If you're doing that, then obviously you're fucking super anxious. You can't think about anything, and your creativity certainly is out of the door. So it's that combination that truly is the cocktail of confidence, and is going to give you superhuman social skills that are obviously going to benefit you in your life. If you want my one-on-one help, check the link in the description. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.